time for the Texaco Star Theater, starring James Melton.
I will bring you music as swiftly as a dove. My song will fly. So swift my song will fly. The starlit spaces, the joyous notes take wing across the sky. The blue and friendly sky. And in the music of love that I am bringing, may there be an echo to fill the night with singing. Oh, let me bring you music from within
Texaco dealers from coast to coast again welcome you to the Texaco Star Theater. A gay half hour with a lot of good music, a lot of good fun, and a lot of good people. James Melton, David Brookman, the orchestra, the Lynn Murray Singers, our Texaco Time visitor, Virginia Haskins, and Ed Wynn, the fire chief, who's going to put the squeeze on the Opera Louise. And this is John Reed King, reminding you that flowers may bloom in the spring, but cars wilt, break down under the strain of warm weather driving. See your Texaco dealer first this spring and make your car last with his complete spring changeover service. He'll change that old oil to 100% distilled Haviland, Texaco's premium motor oil. He'll take thorough care of transmission, differential, and safeguard vital chassis parts with Marfact, Texaco's famous chassis lubricant. Before you start going places this spring, see your Texaco dealer first. Now here he is with a hatful of melodies, your Sunday evening host, star of the Metropolitan Opera, stage, screen, and radio, James Melton.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, John. And welcome, one and all.
Welcome to you, too, James. I hear you just got back from a trip. Where'd you go?
Middle West this time, John, out in Kansas and Missouri.
Missourian?
Yep.
Pick up any mules?
No mules. I'll just stick to my Stanley steamer.
My, always shopping around for those antique jalopies.
Why, Johnny, you should see the bargain I found a few weeks back.
Picked it up for a song, I suppose.
A what?
A song.
All right, John, just as you say. Here's Irving Berlin's They Say It's Wonderful.
They say that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful. So they say. And with the moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So they tell me. I can't recall who said it. I know I never read it. I only know they tell me that love is grand. And the thing that's known as romance is wonderful, wonderful in every way. So they say. Rumors fly and you can't tell where they start, especially when it concerns a person's heart. I've heard tales that could set my heart aglow. Wish I knew if the things I hear are so. They say that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful. So they tell me.
all right for anything that has to do with apple blossoms. So let's choose a song from Fritz Kreisler's operetta by that name, and then let's choose a girl who looks like apple blossoms to sing it. May I... Seems to be the season, all right, for anything that has to do with apple blossoms. So let's choose a song from Fritz Kreisler's operetta by that name, and then let's choose a girl who looks like apple blossoms to sing it. May I present now the young soprano who's paying us a repeat Texaco time visit tonight, Virginia Haskins.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here again.
It's nice to have you, Virginia. Are we all ready to do a quick scene from Apple Blossoms?
All ready, Jimmy. And the song is You Are Free. Flying with never a care, wandering about like the evening breeze through the trees where we please.
Follow our whims where we may, 'tis the happiest way. Just a game we two are playing. Love is nothing but a game of chance.
The one who chooses very often loses. Love is never sure to be romantic.
Always lurks in Cupid's arrows, but he hasn't aimed at you or me. If you're thinking of someone to love, you may always know that you are
Thank you, Virginia. And now here he is, presenting his own interpretation of the opera Louise, the Fire Chief, Ed Wynn.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Jay. Well, tonight, it's wonderful tonight.
Yes,
The heroine of tonight's opera is Louise. That's the title of it, too. Now, Louise lives in a suite of rooms with her parents, who are living with their parents. It's a sort of a suite with two pair of parents. That was rather silly, really. Anyhow, now Louise, the heroine, she has a nose like a pool cue. A pool cue? Yes. I mean that it's long and shiny, and she's always chalking the end. Louise's parents are always fighting. What a couple they are. The husband says to his wife, he says, I saw you taking a sunbath. You're so fat it was a wonderful sight, he says. He says, I never saw so much meat cooking at one time. Isn't that lovely? I love it. Anyhow, the wife says, what do you say, dear? Let's go out tonight and have some fun. And the husband says, all right, and leave the hall light on if you get in before I do. At this instant in the opera, Julien enters. He is the hero. They call him Parcel Post. That's because he's a fourth-class male. What he's doing in the opera, he is visiting Louise, you see. See how mixed up the whole thing's getting? He visits Louise. She says, Julian, I just finished my beauty nap. He takes a good look at her, and he says, I guess I called too early. You better lie down again. Then Julian says, do you think that your father would object to me marrying you? Louise says, if he's anything like me, he would. This makes them sweethearts. Someone walked out on that joke there. Must have been Gromiko. But anyhow, the father... I just made that up. The father orders Julienne from the house. Josephine goes with Julienne, and they don't get back to her home till 8 a.m. The father's angry. The father says, what do you mean bringing my daughter home at 8 o'clock in the morning? And Julienne says, well, I have to be at work by 9. This is a wonderful opera. Then Julienne says, I want to marry your daughter. The father says, can you support a family? The hero says, yes. The father says, well, now think hard because there's 7 of us. Well, as the curtain comes down on the first act, the father says, how do I know you're not marrying my daughter just for my money? And Julian says, how do I know you won't lose all your money after we're married 6 months? We're both taking the same chance. Play that, Mr. Brooklyn. In the second act of the opera, in the second act of the opera, Louise and Julian are married and have a 6-year-old son. Isn't that lovely? Now, the son has what they call Jack Benny and Fred Allen knees. They're always knocking each other. Well, it seems that at school, the son meets a little kid from Hollywood. And Louise's son says to the kid from Hollywood, says, tell me, have you a mama and a papa too? And the kid from Hollywood says, oh, yes. He says, I've had 4 papas by my first mama and 3 mamas by my 4th papa. That's a good one. Anyhow, 12 years later, their son is in college. And he's a sort of a wastrel, you know. And he sends a telegram to his father. And his telegram to the father says, no mun, no fun, your son. And the father wires back, how sad, too bad, you're dad. Isn't that good? So Louise is heartbroken because her husband, Julian, has taken to drink. And he loses his money, he loses his friends, he loses everything. But one day, he finds something in an old suit. It is himself. Now, she says, you not only drink, you lied to me. You said you were going to church today, and you went golfing instead. And the husband says, that's a lie, and I have the fish to prove it. The son returns from college. He says, Mom, why is Father's right arm longer than his left arm? And his mother says, because that's the arm that they drag him home by. Some of them are even worse. Louise and Julian fight, and she has him arrested. Here's a wonderful scene. The judge says, you choked your wife. Julian says, I did not choke her. She swallowed a collar button, and I just squeezed her neck to keep the button from slipping further down. Then Julian says, Judge, I swear to you, if I try to choke my wife, I hope I lose every hair of my head. The judge says, well, you stand aside for 10 minutes, and if you're not bald, I'll give you 60 days. He says, and as the curtain comes down, which is a wonderful scene, Julian says, Louise, I'm going to jail. I might die in jail. And you know me, I believe in reincarnation. I might come back as a skunk. Louise says, don't worry, you can't be the same thing twice.
About 12 or 1,300 miles south of here, down in Ocala, Florida, there lives a lady who used to make me come in and study when I wanted to stay outside and play ball or climb trees. She made me eat my turnip greens and go to bed on time, and all that was quite a few years back, but I remember it very well, just as you do, or any other fella does, when you sort of think back. And since this is a very special day to remember, I'm singing this song.
If I were hanged on the highest hill, mortal mine, I know whose love would follow me still, mother o' mine. If I were drowned in the deepest sea, mother o' mine, I know whose tears would come down to me, mother o' mine, mother o' mine. If I were lost of body and soul, I know whose prayers would make me whole. I know whose prayers would make me whole. Mother o' mine, oh, mother, oh,
Miss Olga, that one's for you.
Oh, James, will you get the fire chief for me? I want to
Sure.
talk to him about spring.
Hey, Chief. Oh, Chief, come over here for a minute.
Yes, Jane.
Chief, listen to John Reed King speak of spring.
You know, Chief, in the spring, a young man's fancy...
I'll say he is.
No.
Oh, well, excuse
no.
me, I
His
wasn't
fancy turns to love.
Oh.
And my love is Sky Chief gasoline. Speaking about Sky Chief, to me, is untold pleasure.
What do you mean, untold? What do you...
I love it. Now, think of yourself the next time you need gasoline and introduce yourself
Yeah.
to extra driving pleasure by refueling with Sky Chief, Texaco's premium gasoline.
Is it economical?
Is it economical?
Yeah.
Why, in no time it pays for itself.
Well, when some of it pays for itself, send it to me, will you, John?
It'll give you a real lift to sense the full, magnificent response of Sky Chief's flexible power.
Is that so?
The smooth way Sky Chief throttles down under perfect control
Yeah.
in the slowest traffic crawl.
Think of that.
The superb way Sky Chief power rises with soaring ease to the challenge of a hill.
Provocative.
Yes,
Really
Sky
provocative.
Chief brings out the best in your car.
Yeah.
More enjoyment to you in the driver's seat.
Think of that.
Enjoy Sky Chief's great pickup.
Yeah.
It's outstanding.
Oh, that's true. It is outstanding. My Uncle John was in his car with some of that Sky Chief gasoline. He put his foot down all the way on the accelerator, and the car gave an outstanding performance.
Yeah.
In fact, right now, it's outstanding in front of a police station. Right now.
Behind Sky Chief's superior performance are important Texaco developments in superior firepower.
Yes.
But to you behind the wheel, it all adds up to a luxury feeling. Luxury power.
Sounds wonderful.
So next time, drive in at your Texaco dealers for Sky Chief.
Yeah.
The premium gasoline for those who want the best.
He believed that, you know. Yeah.
Well, I certainly do.
Well, I'll stick to my horse.
Oh, forget
When you get into trouble with automobiles, everybody does.
Now, what are you talking about?
Well, I saw an advertisement in the newspaper showing you that automobiles... Here's an ad I read in the newspaper.
Yeah?
A man said, a lady's handbag found in my car, and she can have it if she pays for this ad. But if she'll explain to my wife that I had nothing to do with the handbag being in my car, I'll pay for the ad. There you are.
And now we're going to ask Virginia Haskins to do a little song for us. Virginia, will it be something from your old alma mater, the Chicago Civic Opera, or from Tin Pan Alley? You take your pick.
All right. I'll compromise with one of George Gershwin's loveliest songs, Embraceable You. The boys would storm up. I had to lock my door. Somehow I couldn't warm up. What was it that controlled me? What kept my love life lean? My intuition told me you'd come on the scene. Darling, listen to the rhythm of my heartbeat, and you'll get just what I need. Embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. Embrace me, you irreplaceable you. Just one look at you, my heart grew tipsy in me. You and you alone bring out the tips in me. I love the many charms about you. Above all, I want my arms about you. Don't be a naughty baby. Come to Mama, come to Mama. My sweetest embraceable you.
Thank you, Virginia. The muddy, easy-going Old Miss rolls a long, long way from the North Pine Country clean down to the dreamy, shadowy lands of the bayous. And if you could put it all to music, it might sound something like this. From Jerome Kern's immortal showboat, Old Man River.
There's an old man called a Mississippi. That's an old man that I'd like to be. What does he care if the world's got troubles? What does he care if the land ain't free? Don't look up and don't look down. You don't dare to make the white horse frown. Bend your knees and bow your head and pull that rope until you're dead. Let me go away from the Mississippi. Let me go away from the white man's coast. Show me that stream called the River Jordan. That's the old stream that I longs to cross. Old Man River, that old man River, he must know something, but don't say nothing. He just keep rolling. He don't plant cotton, and them that plants 'em are soon forgotten. But old man River, he just keep rolling along. You and me, we sweat and strain, body all aching and racked with pain. Out that bar, yeah. Lift that bed, yes, sir. Get a little drunk, and you'll land in jail. I get weary and sick a-trying. I'm tired of living and fear of dying. But old man River, he just keep rolling
And now here's John Reed King with a few words of wisdom.
Under the banner Marching Forward to a Better World, the Salvation Army has launched an expanded program for 1946 and 47 that includes increased aid to veterans and our occupational forces. Our occupation armies still need the Salvation Army's care, and so do many veterans' families here. Remember the Salvation Army. Oh, James, the man in the little glass room over there is making faces again.
I know he is, John. He wants me to say this. 7 days hence, what do you say, we all congregate here again. We all being you regular customers, and all your friends and relatives. John Reed King and his petrol, David Brookman, the orchestra, our Texaco time visitor, Virginia Haskins, our special guest, Fire Chief Ed Wynn, who will again make opera easy to misunderstand, and me to sing songs for you. Until then, this is faithfully yours, friends, James Melton, saying now good night, and see you Sunday.
Texaco dealers from coast to coast invite you to tune in next Sunday for another performance of the Texaco Star Theater and to drive in anytime. Remember, you're welcome. Whenever you hear the siren and bell, think of Texaco. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Can you think of a better, easier way to buy a college education for your son or daughter than to start right now investing a little money each payday in United States savings bonds through the automatic payroll savings plan? Every $3 you invest now pays back $4 in 10 years. 10 p.m. BULOVA Bulova Watch Time, WABC, New York.